Professor Yuan's The Evolution Theory from the Viewpoint of Christianity, the thorough analysis of the descent or origin of man. Lecture 33, Chapter 21, Charles Darwin's General Summary and Conclusion. It seems worthwhile to try how far the principle of evolution would throw light on some of the more complex problems in the natural history of man. False facts are highly injurious to the progress of science, for they often endure long. The main conclusion here arrived at and now held by many naturalists who are well competent to form a sound judgment is that man is descended from some less highly organized form. The great principle of evolution stands up clear and firm when these groups or factors are considered in connection with others, such as the mutual affinities of the members of the same group, their geographical distribution in past and present time, and their geological succession. He who is not content to look like a savage at the phenomena of nature as disconnected, cannot any longer believe that man is the work of a separate act of creation. He will be forced to admit that the close resemblance of the embryo of man to that, for instance, of a dog, the construction of his skull, limbs, and whole frame on the same plan with that of other mammals, independently of the use to which the parts may be put. The occasional reappearance of various structures, for instance of several muscles, which man does not normally possess, but which are common to the quadrumana, and a crowd of analogous factors, all points in the plainest manner to the conclusion that man is the co-descendant with other mammals of a common progenitor. Man incessantly presents individual differences in all parts of his body and in his mental faculties. These differences or variations seem to be induced by the same general causes and to obey the same laws as with the lower animals. Man tends to increase at a greater rate than his means of subsistence. Consequently, he is occasionally subjected to a severe struggle for existence, and natural selection will have effected whatever lies within its scope. Something may be attributed to the direct and definite action of the surrounding conditions of life, such as abundant food, heat, or moisture, and lastly, many characters of slight physiological importance, some indeed of considerable importance, have been gained through sexual selection. In general, we can only say that the cause of each slight variation and of each monstrosity lies much more in the constitution of the organism than in the nature of the surrounding conditions. Through the means just specified, aided perhaps by the others as yet undiscovered, man has been raised to his present state. But since he attained to the rank of manhood, he has diverged into the distinct races. Nevertheless, all the races agree in so many unimportant details of structure and in so many mental peculiarities that these can be accounted for only by inheritance from a common progenitors. He thus slowly but surely modified his stock, and unconsciously forms a new strain. So, with respect to modifications acquired independently of selection and due to variations arising from the nature of the organism and the action of the surrounding conditions, or from changed habits of life, no single pairs will have been modified much more than the other pairs inhabiting the same country, for all will have been continually blended through free intercrossing. By considering the embryological structure of man, the homologies which he presents with the lower animals, the rudiments which he retains, and the reversions to which he is liable, we can partly recall in imagination the former condition of our early progenitors, and can approximately place them in their proper place in the zoological series. The high standard of our intellectual powers and moral disposition is the greatest difficulty which represents itself after we have driven to this conclusion of the origin of man. But everyone who admits the principle of evolution must see that the mental powers of the higher animals, which are the same in kind with those of man, though so different in degree, are capable of advancement. No one doubts that they are of the utmost importance to animals in a state of nature. The same conclusion may be extended to man. The intellect must have been all important to him, even at a very remote period, as enabling him to invent and use language, to make weapons, tools, traps, etc., whereby, with the aid of his social habits, he long ago became the most dominant of all living creatures. The foundation of the moral qualities lies in the social instincts, including under this term the family ties. These instincts are highly complex and, in the case of the lower animals, give special tendencies toward certain definite actions. But the more important elements are love and the distinct emotion of sympathy. These instincts do not extend to all the individuals of the species, but only to those of the same community. As they are highly beneficial to the species, they have in all probability been acquired through natural selection. Shalom.